So is cryptocurrency mining scalable in 2019? So let's mine away. Hello guys, BitTruth here. Today we're going to talk about should you actually start your own Bitcoin mining farm operation, and is it a legitimate and scalable business, and can you see like profits? So we're going to talk about how scalable cryptocurrency mining, and this is a really interesting video guys. You need to watch it till the end because the information is going to actually show you how much cryptocurrency mining has, potential in the future and the coming months. Anyways, what is scalability? Now, by Investopedia, like a website about business and related stuff, scalability is a characteristic of a system, model, or function that describes its capability to cope and perform well under an increased or expanding workload or scope. A system that scales will be able to maintain or even increase its level of performance or efficiency even if it is as tested by larger and larger operational demands. So that's how we define scalability. Now, how does a scalable business work? Now, Forbes made an article on this, 10 tips for building the most scalable startup, but it was really vague because they talked about something online. We're talking about like physical business, Bitcoin mining, maybe retail, but today we're talking about cryptocurrency mining, so that's a different topic. Anyways, entrepreneur defines scalability in different strategies: how to grow a business, how to put a business model. Now, the first one is exponential growth can be the key to your success. Highly scalable businesses grow exponentially. They are not weighed down by the same sales cost growth relationship as linear models. Instead, as sales increase, costs stay flat. Now, the difference between cryptocurrency mining and traditional business dealing is that with businesses, the costs can really stay flat because you have fixed costs. In mining, as you're increasing your, for example, your hash rate or your miners, by number, the costs will increase. So you have like two graphs that increase at the same time, so it's more linear, allowing for higher levels of profit over time. Businesses with high scalability grow with lower capital requirements, and cryptocurrency mining really needs high capital requirements, like minimum $100,000, and we're going to come to that in a bit, making them more efficient and more attractive to initial investors. You don't have to bring investors, you can start this on your own, but of course you can choose your own strategy. Another strategy is to invest in automation, make the business more scalable by supplementing its process with software. Now, to be honest, cryptocurrency mining is not that automated. I mean, all you're doing is buying a miner, but it's automated in terms of software. So for example, when you get Awesome Miner, for example, you can look at 100 miners real time, their performance, for example, what pool they're mining on, what coins they're mining. For example, if they are mining altcoins or they're mining Bitcoin SHA-256, so you can be able to see that and see the performance. Okay, here are some questions that they ask. Okay, does business output always require increased input in order to grow? Of course, yes, because the difficulty of the Bitcoin network increases as more miners enter the field, so you also need to increase your input. Does the business need to hire more employees anytime sales must increase? No, because if we look at it, it's so that automated that you can actually control them yourself. You can actually inspect them yourself. For example, some people have 100 GPUs or 200, 300 GPUs, and they're the only ones that sit in the farm and just do everything. They don't have to hire any staff, just like, for example, opening a coffee shop or something related. These are the first questions to consider. Now, the questions that we really want to ask: is Bitcoin mining scalable? Now, if we look at the data, I went back in January 2019 and I looked at the data and compared it with May 2019, and we make videos about Bitcoin mining, so if you're interested, you can watch that. Now, in that time, cryptocurrencies, were in a huge bear market, huge crashes and everything. It was like $3,600 per coin, and it fallen from $6,000 ranges to $3,500 ranges. Some people called it for $1,000, but it was a time of turmoil and all bearish and all that stuff. So I took data from that video. As you can see, the difficulty decreased because cryptocurrencies crashed and more problems have came. So let's take this data. This information is from a miner back in January 2019, released by a company called eBang. Okay, they released a miner called eBit11++. Now the 11++ used to produce daily 0.001969 Bitcoin. Now why is this important? Because you don't look at the US dollar value, because that changes exponentially. We look at the amount of Bitcoins. So at that time, $7.25 a day with a hardware cost of $2,024 per miner. And that's for example, if you are an investor, you want to buy 1 or 2 miners, that's the cost. But when we're scaling, you're going to buy them at a cheaper price. We're going to also come to that in a bit. So $5.7 electricity cost. Okay, and let's say, okay, you're going to actually get a profit of 1.47 back in January. Now the price increased in May. Okay, now we are in May. Let's say you sold the Bitcoins that you've been mining for 5 months. Okay, right now at $8,000. So times that Bitcoin amount with the amount of dollars, you're going to get $15.75 revenue. The power, okay, and the revenue, that's daily. Okay, monthly, that's if we sold at $8,000. Okay, and monthly, and in 5 months you're going to get $2,363 after power cost of $855. You could look at $1,508. Now why is this important? It's because when we're looking at Bitcoin mining, it's one of the most scalable businesses in my eyes that I never saw like this before. Because when you start a corner shop or something, or something that in the traditional business world, it takes years to scale, or sometimes even tens of years. So sometimes the owners could have been for 100 years until it scales. So if we look at this, the days to break even in Bitcoin mining, okay, that's the information is back in January, is 1,374 days. But the information that I'm providing you actually says otherwise. It ROI nearly in 150 days. 5 months mining with the eBang eBit, you nearly breaking even. That's $1,500, 2024 per miner. That's like you're really close to the ROI. So let's say 6 months ROI, it's still bigger than what they provided. And that's, remember, this is with like 12 cents per kilowatt hour. So if you have less, if you have more, the information could change drastically. Okay, and if we actually get, for example, 100 miners, okay, and you sold in them ranges, you're going to look at $150,000. That's really huge. And that's what I'm really trying to teach people, is that cryptocurrency mining has one of the best risk to reward ratios in the world of business we've ever seen. So people calling Bitcoin mining or Bitcoin miners, it's all just a scam, it's not profitable. It's not profitable because you do not have a strategy. It's not because it's not profitable. We have a lot of miners, there's a lot of companies. The problem is people just do not open their eyes. They do not look at information. They just look at current information. Oh, some shiller on YouTube said that it's not profitable. Oh, let's listen to that guy. He is 100% honest. He's 100% diligent. Because on YouTube, some people can, speak whatever they want. People can say their opinions. People can, talk about anything. So you really also need to give some input from your side. You need to give your opinions from your side, your information. So the proof of scalability in cryptocurrency mining is really huge. If we look at the hardware cost, for example, $2,024, and we look at the information that we have for the eBang eBit++, okay, we can look that $7.25 okay revenue after power cost, the amount of bitcoins, and the price of Bitcoin. We talked about all that stuff. But look how much you can reduce all that power. Now let's say you live in the United States. Most of my viewers live in the United States according to data. Okay, and if you live like in a state where it has like above 12 cents, okay, above the national average of your country, for example, you can go to another state which has cheaper electricity for residents and companies and industrial complexes. Well, you can even get even cheaper electricity, okay, by going into an industrial complex in that state. Okay, and for example, renting units or a warehouse, and putting like, for example, 100 or 500 miners depending on the size, and you could literally turn this into a legitimate business. Like the minimum needed cost to start, this whole, Bitcoin mining or cryptocurrency mining in general, okay, farm, all you need is around $100,000. And if we look at information, you can get around 10 miners, okay, 20,000 for example dollars and $240, so $20,000, and the rest 80,000 is to pay, for example, for electricity as a startup. And as price increases of Bitcoin, you start selling that Bitcoin, and you start to actually increase your your farm, the number of miners in operation, and you don't have to hire any employees, so you're cutting costs, and you don't have to pay taxes. For example, if you have like a 40% bracket, I think, on short income tax, in the United States, you can get the long-term tax when you sell your Bitcoins, for example, a year from now, 2 year from now. They're going to charge you like less taxes. I think that's about 14-15%, around them ranges. So you're paying less taxes, you don't have employees, you're paying less electricity, and you're having a scalable business. And it's still not the fun part, guys. We're still scratching the surface. There's even more. You can also sign contracts with eBank or InnoSilicon or Bitmain to get cheaper miners, okay, for example, every month. For example, let's say you have a scalable Bitcoin mining farm. Okay, you can actually sign a contract. For example, on every miner, they would reduce the price by $300. So let's say you're buying in bulk. You're buying, for example, 100 miners at once. You're going to reduce $300, for example, and you're going to make more profit, more slower ROI. So you're going to actually profit even faster. And these contracts don't need like a multi-billion-dollar corporation or a business magnate. All you need to do is, you need an email and, the company, and all you do is contact them and come to your own in terms of service, and then you actually sign the contract, and bang, you got some miners at a cheaper price, and that's just for Bitcoin mining. Cryptocurrency mining is even more insane. You have coins like Ethereum, Zcash, and you can even get more miners. Sometimes, the contracts can include, let's say, for 100 miners, they don't reduce the prices, but they actually give you extra miners, or they reduce the prices and give you extra miners. Personally, I never signed a contract with these companies because I live in the UK. We have a really high electricity rate. You cannot start a business of that scale. But in the United States and China, worldwide, okay, out of the European Union, you can look at a higher profit margins. Now, also, there's another insane thing, is that new miners in the market. Now, this right here, my friends, is the eBank 11++ data. This is 44 terahashes. Now, as the Bitcoin market moves on, now we have the S17 Pro 53 terahashes. If you look at that, that's around like what, 10 around 10 terahash difference, 9 terahash difference. So what we're doing right here, guys, is that we're scaling not only in number of miners, but the quality of miners. And if we look at the information that we have, the miners keep, upgrading, because these companies need to keep up with the difficulty. And if you can get your hands on these miners right here, okay, you can actually look at, considerable amount of profit, because sometimes they get sold out really quickly. So when you have a contract with Bitmain or with InnoSilicon or with any of these companies, you could look at higher profit margins. Some people a year ago used to actually, buy these EquiHash miners. They got really sold out really quickly, and then a lot of people made a lot of money. I think its name was the Z9 Mini. Okay, back then, less than 150 days people used to ROI. That's how insane some of these miners can get. So $100,000 investment, you get yourself 10 miners. Okay, so that's $20,000. Maybe they will not give you really a discount because you're buying really minimum, okay, amount of miners, and the rest $80,000 you could use them, as a backup. For example, let's say, the cryptocurrency market has some turmoil, and you're going to have a lot of crashes and problems and bear markets and all that type of nonsense. Then you can actually fall back on some money. So you don't have to invest, oh yeah, you need to invest $1 billion or millions of dollars at once. No, you start small. You start with 10 miners. You actually experiment with this space. You gain expertise all the way. And as you can see, the S17 Pro right now, $17 profit per day. It has more terahashes than eBank 11++, and it's more efficient. You see, miners becoming more efficient, more powerful, and more profits. So that's what really need to take into account. We're just scratching the surface, guys, because we're talking about Bitcoin miners, S17 Pro, the S15, the eBank 11++. But still, you have different altcoins that have different price increases. Sometimes altcoins can go really wild. You could look at hundreds of percentages of ROI, even in a time of like 2019, 2018, okay, that we had. Okay, and in 2017, you know, some altcoins gone 100,000% up. Imagine if you invest $1, that's like tens of thousands of dollars. That's how much insane we're looking at the cryptocurrency market. You know, you have Equihash miners mining Zcash, maybe some Zen. You know, you also have ETH miners mining some Ethereum. So it's really a huge opportunity to start right now while the market is still you know, early. Still not the whole planet knows about cryptocurrencies before the big wave comes, and you know, all these people that are going, you know, to jump on each other to get to the other side and make some money. You're going to be one of the first. You're going to be the pioneer of mining. That's how insane we're looking at this, guys. And for example, the S17 Pro right now is making 0.78 Bitcoin per year, and still the difficulty has not gone that much wild. So it's really insane, guys. If you do your research, if you actually try to actually expand your knowledge, your expertise, you can actually turn this into a legitimate business. So thank you guys for watching this video from BitTruth with your host Mark Luther, and in the end I just want to tell you that, you know, don't stop learning about the cryptocurrency space. There's always something new. Maybe a year from now we're going to have some, you know, new technology in terms of like proof of work. Now we're going to have something else, maybe a proof of, you know, I'm not sure. You know, I'm still not in the future. So more than that, guys, see you guys on the next video.